What's up YouTube? Welcome back to our latest video. If you followed us for a long time and you follow us on Instagram especially, you'll know we specialise in fat loss and performance because we're big advocates that you can achieve the best of both if you've got the right strategy in place. So in today's video, we're going to break down our 5 top tips so you can find the perfect balance between achieving fat loss results, getting in the best shape of your life, and prioritising your performance as well.
If you're currently sat there and you're already feel like you're turning up to the gym, you're training pretty well, but you feel like something is missing and you're not feeling like you have much energy, there's not much confidence in the actions that you need to take around your training, around your nutrition. From watching this video, you are going to be able to escape that middle ground that you're currently suffering in so that you can achieve the fat loss goals that you want and the performance ones.
So to get straight into it, tip number 1, you need to eat to support your training. Instead of having a mindset where it's just calories in versus calories out, you also need to focus on the macronutrients of your food because that's what's actually going to give you energy, and energy is what you need to train. We recommend a calorie deficit no bigger than 300 to 400 calories a day so you have energy and you can maintain your performance in your training sessions. We also recommend if you have a high rock sim, a race, an event, or something coming up that you've been working really hard towards, that during that period of time you increase your calories to at least maintenance so you have maximal energy levels. Putting yourself in a too big a calorie deficit is only going to leave you hungry, low on energy and fatigued, and you're going to be fighting a losing battle between not having enough energy to train but also fighting your temptations with food as well. Carbs are your main energy source and it's really important that you prioritize these in your diet as well. They're timed around your training so you can give your best in your training sessions.
Tip number 2 is to have a form of protein in every single one of your meals. This sounds so simple, but protein is is the most satiating macronutrient. So in every single one of your meals, it means that that meal is taking longer to digest. It's going to give you a longer lasting energy. So there's going to be less temptation for you to be snacking in between those meals. You want to eat a sufficient amount of protein that is relevant to your muscle mass. Ideally, you want to be aiming for between 1.5 to 2 grams per kilo of lean mass. So if you are carrying a higher amount of body fat, then you have to take this into consideration. And obviously the purpose here is to ensure that we've got enough protein in our diet to ensure recovery in our muscles. The breakdown of muscles is from our training is going to be repaired, and we're going to be therefore able to build muscle and ultimately perform at our best. The long-term goal is for your body to be able to be burning more calories at rest. So that is our basal metabolic rate. That is literally the calories that your body burns without doing anything. The more muscle mass you have, the higher this number will be. So therefore you're increasing your metabolism, you're going to be more efficient, your body's going to be more efficient in the way that it burns calories and uses those calories for energy. So it's even more emphasis of why protein in every meal and a sufficient amount of protein across your entire day relative to your body weight is key.
Tip number 3 is you need to stop snacking and focusing on building proper meals. One of the biggest mistakes we see when people, especially when they're trying to lose body fat, is they cut their calories down, and they cut their calories down in their meals. Their meals are their main sources of energy, and that's going to have a negative impact on your training if you're trying to achieve the best of both. Snacking all day, grazing all day is never going to leave you satisfied. It's always going to leave you thinking about food, and you're never going to have a significant amount of energy to push hard in your training sessions. If you have 3 meals a day that have a good balance of protein, carbohydrates and fat, it's going to help give you a slow release of energy, it's going to help keep you full, and it's going to stop your blood sugar spiking and lulling, which is going to help reduce cravings as well. Your complex carbohydrates like oats, pasta, rice are going to give you a slow release of energy throughout the day, so it's really important you include those in all 3 of your meals.
Tip number 4 is all around meal timings in your training. So it's so important that you have carbohydrates before you go and train, and then you want to adopt the mindset of carbs and protein within 90 minutes of your session. There's so much, and I've been victim to this before, thinking that protein post-workout is the most important thing that you have to consider. There's truth in this that we need protein, as I said before, protein in every single meal, so we're having enough protein for muscle repair and growth, but you need to replenish your blood glycogen after a workout, and therefore the best and only way to do that is consuming carbohydrates after. You want to adopt the mindset of simple sugary carbs before and complex carbohydrates that are slower to digest after. Rather than just adopting the mindset of getting that session done, fuel your session so that you can perform at your best. You have the energy to get a good session, maybe hit a PB, but you can push past that second gear and eating after the right way so that you're recovering well to turn up the next day and be able to be in the position to do it again. For example, if you're training first thing in the morning like we do, we will still have something like a banana and a powdered carb drinks that's just going to give that little bit of carbohydrates into your system before training. Similarly, if you're training after work, don't let lunch be the last thing you eat before you go to the gym in the evening. You want to still adopt that mindset of having some carbohydrate snack that's going to just give you that boost of energy going into the session. With those meals, so we're talking our breakfast, our lunch and our dinner, we want to make sure we're eating within 3 to 4 hours so that avoids any extreme hunger levels, because when we're in that extreme hunger level position, it naturally will relate to crashes happening because we've got no energy, and then that's where those temptations creep in, and it's so much harder to mentally control and be able to not go over the top with whatever that food you might go and grab out the cupboards, because you haven't actually fueled yourself properly in those meals and you're spending too long between each one. That's where tactical snacks certainly can come into play here, and this is where you recommend having something like a protein bar or a protein-based snack, because as we said before, most satiating macronutrient, so it's going to give you more of that longer lasting energy. Maybe something like a yogurt, but again, that's going to be something that is higher in protein than even saying just having an apple for the afternoon, because it's probably not going to give you that sufficient fuel that you need, and then you'll probably find that you'll go and eat something again after.
And tip number 5, you need to adopt a performance focused mindset. If you're constantly thinking about food and it being relative to your body weight and how much your body changes, you're never going to be able to achieve the best of both, and this is where a lot of people become scale obsessed, fat loss obsessed, and often quit before they've even started. You need to start viewing your food as how it's actually going to impact your body and your energy levels, rather than it just being the calories in and the calories out and the calories you got left in your MyFitnessPal for the rest of the day. If you're fueling yourself correctly, if you're eating the right things at the right time of day, that you can actually push hard in your sessions, the physical changes you see in your body will be the byproduct of the hard work that you've been putting into your training sessions. We can totally relate to this mindset shift, because when we both first started our fitness journey, we very much were focused on aesthetics. Everything we did in the gym was to try and change the way we look. Everything we put into our body was calories in versus calories out. All we cared about was losing body fat, getting leaner, and that was our primary focus. And we didn't enjoy our training, we didn't feel good, and we found it really, really hard to push hard in sessions because we weren't fueling ourselves in the correct way to do so. Fast forward a long time, we now prioritize how hard we can push in our sessions, what each session looks like and what we require ourselves to do and our body to be able to have energy for, and that has completely transformed the way we look, the way we see food, the way we view food, and we have a pretty healthy relationship with food now too, because we have a mindset of how is this food going to make me feel, and is it going to keep me full, and is it going to give me energy, rather than if I eat this food now, will I be able to save calories for something else I want to eat later on. There's a big difference in that mindset.
So there you have it, team. That is our top 5 tips that's going to allow you to lose body fat and perform at your best. Honestly, if you even just take 2 of these tips, you will see a dramatic increase in the way that you can perform in the gym and go forward towards the aesthetic goals that you probably want. The big thing for us is that you want to approach the situation with a consistent, sustainable mindset. You don't want to do anything rash or going too far into either side of the spectrum. So that would be such low deficit that you're then affecting your performance, or such high surplus you're then affecting your ability to lose body fat.
We've helped hundreds of men and women go through this exact transformation of achieving a certain aesthetic goal while also training for performance. Katie joined our program wanting to get in the best shape of her life for a wedding. She lost 8 kilos kilos of body fat while still training for Hyrox. She ran her first Hyrox race well within her target time as well, and since then she's also gone on to run multiple 5k and 10k PBs as well.
And also Luke, who was someone who was stuck in that middle ground, unsure what he needed to really do, and we focused on being in a deficit to achieve the fat loss results that he wanted, whilst he was pushing towards running half marathons, running now multiple Hyrox races. But it was that principle of knowing what to eat and how to eat to achieve both sides of the goals.
If you've liked this video, make sure you give it a like, make sure you're subscribed, and if you want to hear more about the transformations that we've produced inside the Evermove Academy, make sure you're following our Instagram accounts too. We'll put the handles on the screen here, and we'll see you in the next one.